Morning everyone, just let's tilt that camera, get it right, not straight. Okay, I just thought I'd pop on. No, you're still wonky. Oh dear, camera day. I just wanted to pop on early, just to wait for everyone while I get things ready. I'm here today to stir up Sunday. Today is the traditional day when the family comes together to make the Christmas pudding. And the tradition is that everyone takes a go in stirring and makes a wish while they stir. And you apparently have to stir from east to west. So my family aren't around this morning, so I'm going to be doing all three wishes for everyone. Okay, so while we're waiting, I'm just going to chop all my ingredients, make sure my ingredients are chopped up. And then we will get cracking. So it's more like a demo today. If you, excuse me while I get a knife, if you would like the recipe, then please drop me a message with your email address and I can ping that to you. I have a traditional recipe that I can share with you or my tweet version. So I am just going to roughly chop some almonds. If you're joining me live, do say hello. Give me a wave. If you're watching on replay, give me a wave too and do hashtag replay. Yes. So this is obviously a recipe I don't make every day. So I have got my little crib sheet in front of me. So I will run through the main ingredients that I am using. So I've got some dried fruit. I am using a mix of dried figs, currants and sultanas, and that reminds me, they're still in the microwave. So you're supposed to, basically you soak your fruit in the alcohol overnight. I forgot, so hey, I'm human and life gets busy. So what I did was, I haven't soaked the dried figs, which are here, and oh my god, they are so good. But I soaked the, well, I nuked the sultanas and the currants in masala wine. And I do that for 2 minutes on 1 minute bursts, give it a stir, and then you basically just let it sit and let it cool. So I'm going to put that there. I'm just going to get my laptop up to see if anyone is online and you want to say hello or ask me a question, because I can't always see the comments. If anyone's commenting or saying hi, give me a shout now so I can check that comments are working, because they don't always do what they're supposed to do. Okay, so I'm just chopping my almonds. So where were we? I was running through the ingredients. Yes, sorry. So dried fruit, I'm using sultanas and, what did I say? Currants and dried figs. So a mix of that. So you can use, you can use a variety of fruit that you prefer. I then got some candied peel in. I'm using lemon today. You could use orange or cheddar lemon as well. I just happen to have lemon. And I use actually the proper Italian candied peel. It tastes so much better. It doesn't have that bitter taste that some candied peel do. And that's why it's always worth investing in your ingredients. If you're making something at home, it's always going to taste better than shop bought, but if you invest in good quality ingredients, it's going to taste even better. So, yes, so candied peel, and then I'm using masala. You can use sherry. There are different kinds of masala. I'm using a dry masala, and this is the one I use for all my bakes. I love it. I think it's perfect. Yes. So got that. I've got some brown sugar. You can use white caster sugar, but I think brown sugar really sort of gives it that more caramelized flavor at the end, and it goes really well with the treacle that we're adding a little bit of too. I've also got a bit of mixed spice. I've got some self-raising flour, and you normally add some breadcrumbs, but I'm actually swapping those for finely ground almonds, so like almond flour, only because I fancied it. So if you're gluten-free, you could try mixing gluten-free flour with, excuse me, with ground almonds, so that you don't have the gluten in the bread or the flour. You could do that. It might be a little bit denser, might need a little bit more liquid, but have a go. It's always worth trying these recipes. Oh, someone's just popped on. Hello. Hey Kay, thanks for joining. Sorry, I just have to get rid of a message that's come up on my phone. My friend Bex, who's a fellow cake maker, made me laugh this morning. I don't know if anyone follows me on social, please let me know, because I have been subjecting people with Christmas cracker jokes. Because I am doing my online bake-along, the boxes, if you choose to have a recipe box, if you go with the business bake-along, or if you book an Italian or kids bake-along, everyone gets a Christmas cracker. And I've made them up all myself, with a little surprise in each one. But that means I have been subjected to over 100 jokes. So I apologise now. Some of them are really bad, but I was sharing my favourite one, which makes me giggle every time. And I probably shouldn't do it. See, I'm smiling already. Yes, it's bad, but okay, I'm going for it. What do you call, sorry, I need to turn down my steamer. What do you call a bear with no teeth? Come on, give me an answer, people. Let me know if you've got any guesses. I want you to have a go. What do you call, and Bex, if you're watching, no, you're not watching because you're grooming the dogs. What do you call a bear with no teeth? I'll come back to that. So where were we? Yes, flour and nuts, ground nuts or almond flour, and then a zest of either a lemon or an orange. I'm using an orange to balance out the lemon in the candied peel. That's the word I'm looking for. I haven't had breakfast, and that's probably why my brain's not clicking in today. So zest of an orange, and then you're going to have suet. Now I'm not a big fan of suet. I did think about using butter, but when you can use frozen butter and grate it, but when you do that, it makes it quite a dense mixture. Mary Berry uses it, so you can do it, but she uses more of a cakey mixture, so more flour in there, which lightens it up a bit. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to try suet. I don't use suet in my mince pies, not at all, because I don't like it. However, I'm going to try it in the pudding. I haven't done it before. You can get vegetarian. Where is the box? So I bought this at the supermarket. I think this is a traditional one that everyone can get. They do a vegetarian one if you'd prefer to try that. I haven't tried it personally, so I'm going to try this today, and then next time I'll try that, the other one. Sorry, my Facebook page thing has frozen, so I'm just going to restart it in case anyone wants to ask a question. Okay, so I've nearly finished chopping my nuts. Sorry, my almonds, blanched almonds. A bit slow chopping today. And oops, careful. And nuts are quite fiddly because they bounce around all over the place. Oh, it's really warm in the kitchen this morning because my husband has delightfully got lunch on the go already. We are having, oh my god, it's really difficult when you're baking and you've got something savoury that you know is going to be amazing, excuse me, in the oven. We're having pork ribs with chickpeas in a tomato sauce. I'll post a picture later because, oh my god, it's really, really good. But yeah, so that, it needs a long, slow cook in the oven. And, oh, it's making me really hungry, especially as I haven't had breakfast. Actually, I tell a lie. I did have one mini mince pie. See, the joy of being able to make your own mince pies is that you can always just rustle some up. Especially if you've already got your mincemeat ready and you've got some pastry in the freezer, or you want to make some quickly. It doesn't take long. I whipped up a batch of these little babies. I'm going to have another one now that I'm blaming you, or you've reminded me of them. So I'm going to have one of these. See, they are really good, and the crust is so flaky and tender. Okay, that was breakfast. Sorry. Who else has a mince pie for breakfast? Let me know. Oh, too much icing sugar. Okay. Sorry. I just finished. I'll be back in a minute. Finish my mouthful. I shouldn't have done that, but I did. Okay. We need an egg. You know I've done the almonds. We need a bit of treacle, a bit of stout, and a bit of milk. Oh, excuse me, that's giving me a hiccup. So, to begin with, I've got a pudding bowl. So I'm making a small one. This is about, this takes one and a half pints. And what's that in litres? About 600 mil? Yes, about 600 mil. So, what you have to do, I always keep my butter packs because when you need to coat a bowl, I've got them in the freezer. It's really easy just to pull one out and use it. So just coat the inside of your pudding bowl, okay? Don't throw it away yet because we're going to need it again. Excuse me. I'm doing so many recordings and lives recently that my throat's going. And for unusually, I had a bit of an asthma cough yesterday. And it just really caught me off guard because I haven't had one in so long. I don't know what it was. Okay, back to the bowl. Focus, Kate. Yeah, sorry, I don't think I introduced myself. My name's Kate. I'm Dolce Lusso. So, for those who don't know me, welcome. Follow me on Insta and social, Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. Follow me because I drop tips here. Someone else has joined. Jean, nice to have you. We're doing Stir Up Sunday. Yes, and I'm also doing some online baking classes now, which I'll tell you about later. But if you don't follow me, please do come and follow me and join the fun. I'm also thinking of setting up a Facebook group for people who love to bake. If that's of interest to you, let me know. It's just an early thought yet, but it's somewhere where I can do these lives, answer any questions that you may have. So if you're if you're stuck in the kitchen, you think, oh, how on earth do I do that? That will be a safe place where you can ask any question. There's no silly questions, nothing. Okay, and if I can help, I'll help. So back to your pudding bowl. So I greased it with butter. I'm going to put a small circle at the bottom to just make sure, so I've just stuck that down on the butter, I don't know if you can see it, but just to make sure there is no reason for the top of my pudding to stick, okay? I have got another one, so what I did basically to cut that out, I just stood this on some parchment and drew around it and cut it out, and then I turned it over to cut this big piece out, which I need later, so I'll leave that there for now. Okay, so, got my wooden spoon, and I've got my grandmother's mixing bowl, which I love. But it's very old, and so I have to have a towel on my countertop to make sure, A, it doesn't slip, but also it doesn't scratch. Excuse me. Right, so I'm going to move a few things out of the way. And get my towel out. I will, every now and again, I know the camera's angled over there, and you probably can't see everything, but I will lift it up, show you what's what, and we can go from there, okay? So first of all, there's my little crib sheet to remind me of what to do. So yes, technically you should soak these overnight, but I did it in the microwave with a quick little trick. So I am going to put the sugar, so I've got brown sugar. So I've got brown light muscovado because I like that caramel flavour. I've also got a little bit of mixed spice, I don't know if you can see it, yeah, a little bit of mixed spice. That's all going in the bowl. The reason you use a spoon is because it's a little bit easier to control. Okay, so where are we? Where's my flour? Okay, so I've got some flour here and some almond flour. As I said, instead of breadcrumbs, I've mixed the two flours together. So put that in. My recipe calls for a bit of salt, but most of the time I don't bother, especially when I'm using butter because, excuse me, it does balance out the sugar, but I would rather, a lot of American recipes use salt as well because they use a lot of sugar, so they balance it out, but I'd rather cut back on the sugar than add salt. And especially if I'm using butter, I like to use lightly salted butter rather than plain, because then the salt is in the butter and I don't have to add salt. Okay. And also, I've got some iodized salt in the kitchen for, you know, salting pasta water and things like that. But I prefer to use Maldon salt or more of a natural salt in my food. And today, I can't be bothered to pound it up, so I'm not going to do that. Okay. And then where am I? So mix that all together. I'm going to come and show you. This is all part of stir up. So we're going to mix that all together, just combined everything, and make sure you get rid of any lumps that may have, you know, the sugar sometimes gets lumps in it because of humidity in the air and stuff like that. So just make sure it's all evenly mixed so that when you add the next stuff, so if anyone has joined, please say hi. It's nothing worse than going live, trying to share something, and then you don't feel anyone's watching you because you feel a bit mad, really. But I know you're all there, really. Anyone else join? No? Okay. But for you guys watching, thank you for staying with me and joining me. And again, if you would like this recipe, my version or the traditional, you can specify. Let me know. Drop me a private message or direct message, whichever platform you're on. This will be available on replay as well, and I am going to post it up on Instagram as well for those who don't do Facebook. If you send me your email address, I'll ping you the recipe later today or tomorrow and have a go. It's a nice tradition to do. And even if it's not something that you like, so let's say you don't like dry food and stuff like that, if you've got kids, it's nice to have a tradition that you do with them. That at this time of year, where it's 6 weeks before Christmas, and it's basically signifying the start of the festive period. I'm going to use that. I can tell my husband we're going to put the Christmas tree up. I'm the one who's going, yeah, let's put the decorations up. And he's like, no, not yet. I'm like, oh. So also I get very excited about this time of year because it's my birthday on Christmas. So I try and stretch it out for as long as I can. You get that, don't you? Yeah. Okay. Right. So I've mixed all the dried ingredients together. Now I'm going to add in the suet. Oh, wonderful suet. I am going to zest my large, excuse me, orange into it. I can never remember what hand I use for zesting. This one. Feeling a bit spastic today. Right. I love my zester. It's one of my best kitchen tools. It really is. And I've got the, what is it? I've got the microplane. That's really, really good. I know you can get different ones. And I prefer this one because I know you can get some that have cases that the zest falls straight into the case. But I prefer this because I find that when you zest a fruit, you're releasing all the natural oils. And then you can lose some of that when it just sticks to the container in which it's captured. I mean, yeah, it's really handy. And if you want to zest ahead, then it's a great place to store stuff because things don't dry out and things. But I do think you do lose some of the wonderful flavors and, oh, it smells amazing. And that's what I love about Christmas puddings, Christmas cakes. You bake something like this in the oven, and mince meat. You bake these things in the oven, in the kitchen, and the whole house just starts to feel of Christmas. And I think, so I'm doing some bake-alongs at the moment. I call them the bake-alongs. And for the small groups, I am offering adult, you know, those people who love to bake, even if you're a newbie and you're a novice at baking, don't be scared because I guide you step by step through everything. I also do it for kids because I believe it's really important for children to learn at a young age of how to work in the kitchen. You know, how to learn the tips along the way. And sorry, I'm just going to stir the, I need to add the almonds as well, I nearly forgot those. So almonds, suet and orange. So I believe that it's really important that kids get comfortable in the kitchen and confident, that they know what to do, because then they can experiment and do stuff themselves, and when they get older, go to uni and stuff, they've got some skills under their belt, and they sort of aren't scared and don't end up living on takeaways or fast food. You know, it's a healthier way of living, and there are so many things you can do, and I'm not just talking about baking, I'm just talking about general, you know, being comfortable in the kitchen. And I think it starts with baking for younger children because they love the sweets and they love, you know, being creative. And once you spark that interest through sweet treats, you'd be amazed at how much more they want to get involved in the kitchen. Right, so I've mixed all that up, so you kind of got this mixture now. Hey Dasha, thanks for joining. Let me know if you're probably not going to do it live, but if you plan on, you want the recipe, do drop me a message and I'm happy to send it and share it. I think it's lovely. I love people baking. Anyway, so back to my Italian bake-along. So my next one that's coming up, I've got 2 in December. They're very festive oriented. So I'm teaching mince pies and panettone. Both of these items, yes, you can buy them in the shop, but when you make them at home, it's the world of difference. It is so good. And as I was saying earlier, when you start baking Christmas stuff, it fills that house with love and the smells of Christmas and joy and happiness. And we've all been, I think a lot of people have found lockdown 2 a lot harder than lockdown 1, even though we know that there's a date there and stuff, but Christmas is coming up and it's getting darker and winter and it's colder and it's a little bit, you know, you can't go outside late in the afternoon. So I just want people to, you know, share something and teach people some skills. You'll learn for the mince pies, you'll learn how to make the most amazing flaky pastry and a really tasty mincemeat, no suet. I'll teach you how to adapt the recipe so that you can make it yours. Because I've got my own recipe, but I'll share that with you, but I'll also teach you how to make it yours. So if you don't like candied peel, fine, there are ways around that. If you don't like certain dried fruits, we can swap them for other things. And I'll teach you that. And how to break down a recipe and all these things. So my mince pies workshop is on the 3rd of December at 8 o'clock at night. So you get a whole recipe box. You get everything you need apart from the butter and the shortening. Literally. You get the baking tin, you get the cutters. I haven't thrown in a rolling pin. You even get a wooden spoon. So there is no excuse to join in. Don't be afraid of, you know, if you're a newbie at baking but you want to learn, don't be afraid. Come and join me. So you can find the links via my website to how to book. All the information is on my website. You can just book it all online. And once you've learnt this skill, because I taught someone a couple of weekends ago and they dropped me a message to say, oh, we're making mince pies again this weekend. Fabulous. It's lovely to know that people are loving and, you know, loving to bake. And so I rustled some up yesterday in 20 minutes. I had some pastry left over in the fridge and I had some mincemeat already made from that lesson. It took 20 minutes. And then I had this wonderful, oh my God, mince pies freshly baked. Wow. I'll also teach you in the class how to heat them up, how to store them, also what to serve with them, because I've got a trick that I don't think is traditional, but oh my God, it's amazing. So have a look at my website, come and join me. I'd love to have you come and join. I'd love to teach you how to make mince pies properly. And the other one that I'm doing for Christmas is panettone, which is a 2-day course, all online, all virtual, all live. I'm also doing something for the kids, but I'll come back to that because I need to get back to this. So we've mixed in all the dried ingredients. Yes, apart from the fruit. So now I'm going to add, now I need to add half an egg. How to do half an egg, they ask. Okay, so I've got a container here, on my scales. I always use a coloured container when I'm cracking an egg. You just get a fork, because if you get any shell into your bowl, you can see it, pick it out easily. I always crack my egg on the surface, not on the edge of the bowl, because you get less tiny bits going into the egg and into your bowl. Okay, so I've got my scale on 0. Put my egg in there. Okay, we've got an egg that's about just over 50 grams. So I am going to just beat this together. So all you need to do is whisk this up. Just making sure it's all combined. And what did we say it was? About 50 grams. So then I'm going to put half of the mixed egg, mixed egg into another container to measure it, and then into my bowl. So have I got anything in here? Yes, a little bowl. So if I put that there, so about 25 to 30 grams of egg. And this is the easiest way. I did a little bit too much there, so I'm going to put a little bit back. Perfect. Put this to the side. And then put that in. See, my cat loves egg, so he can have that. Doesn't go to waste. Right. Okay, so we're putting in the egg, half an egg. Oh, I need to add some treacle. I want half a tablespoon of treacle. Don't use this often, but oh my god, it is so lovely and rich. I might be a little bit generous with my treacle today. Okay, put that in. Oh, so thick, lovely. Okay, that on. Always make sure you put the tin lid back on really well. I'll go at that later. Okay, so treacle is in with the egg. Try and mix that together, and it just then makes sure that the treacle isn't in one big lump. So what I'm just doing in the base of my bowl is kind of just, whoops, if you can see. So I'm not stirring everything in yet, but I am kind of pulling together the treacle and the egg. Let's move that away. I'm also going to add the stout and the milk. So I am using, I went to Waitrose yesterday, I'm not a stout drinker, so I don't know, but I saw this on the shelf and I thought, let's have a go. Double stout. Smells quite nice. Right, so my stout's going in, and I've got some full fat milk. Excuse me. Okay, so let's give this a mix. I'm going to come closer so you can see. If at any point you think can't see what she's doing, shout. Okay. Smells really nice, actually. When you don't make something often, it's really nice to be reminded of how it smells. Okay, so that's all combined. So if you can see, it's quite loose, but that's fine. We are now going to then add the fruit. So I'm going to put the candied peel in, my dried figs. I love dried figs, really, really do. And of course my soaked fruit with any liquid that might be left in the base of the bowl. Don't want to waste that. As I said, I've used Marsala wine, but you can use sherry. And I'm sure you could experiment with other, if you don't like sherry or Marsala, I'm sure you can experiment with others. Have a go. And I think, yes, baking is very precise with measurements and stuff, but flavors, you can incorporate those, and you can, you know, swap things out as long as they're the same kind of ingredient. So fat for fat, liquid for liquid, if that makes sense. And the same kind of consistency. You don't want to put something that's quite a liquid alcohol with something that's really like honey or stuff. That's not what I mean. Okay, right, so we are there. Now while I've been doing this, I have got a steamer on the hob. So I've got an actual steamer. This is the top bit, which I'm going to be adding vegetable steamer. And my bowl fits perfectly in there. So the water has been keeping warm over there. And if you don't have a steamer, all you need to do is put a saucepan upside down or a small bowl upside down, put your pudding bowl on top of that, and then put the lid on. But you have to keep an eye on the amount of water that's in there at all times. Okay, so now this is the bit where you're supposed to stir east to west and make a wish with every stir. So excuse me while I make my wish. Okay, I'm going to do it for everyone in the family. Right, yes, I know I'm potching about with it, but I've done my east to west. Okay, now, at this point, if you want to do the traditional thing and put your silver coin or little trinket in there, you may do, but please, please warn your guests or your family members before they eat it that you've done that. You don't want to chip anyone's teeth. Okay, and end up having to go to an emergency dentist on Christmas Day, if that's when you eat it. So, I have greased my pudding bowl. I have put a piece of parchment paper at the bottom to make sure, excuse me, that the pudding doesn't stick when I want to turn it out. Excuse my throat, as I said earlier, I had an asthma cough really bad yesterday. I don't know where it came from, because I haven't had one in a long, long time. And it really caught me off guard, but my throat's a bit funny today because of it. It is not COVID, I have you know. Okay, back to serious business. So I'm going to make a lid in a minute, but for now I'm going to put this mixture in here, and you want to do it no more than 3/4 full. So probably about there. Right. Because the flour, well, obviously it's self-raising flour, it will rise. Now I'm going to do this way in the hope that you can see. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Okay. So what are you guys doing for the rest of the weekend or the rest of Sunday? Are you relaxing? Are you going to be going for a lovely walk? My husband went out for a walk this morning and it was so magical here. It was lovely and, what's the word I'm looking for? Foggy. Really pretty. I woke up this morning, opened the curtains, and I was like, wow, beautiful day. I was going to go for an earlier walk, but I was so tired this morning that I thought, you know what, I'll save it for tomorrow. So I admired the fog from indoors. I'm very blessed to be living in the countryside. We've got the woods and the Ridgeway on our doorstep, so you can go out for a walk whenever you want, and great at times like this when everyone's stuck indoors. Right, let me get rid of everything, put everything in there, and waste not a drop. Okay, so this is what, oops, I spilled some. This is what we've got so far. Okay? Now let me just tidy up a bit of my mess. Don't worry, my tea towels go straight in the wash after I bake. Excuse me. Okay, now we're going to make the lid. So I did, as I said earlier, I did cut one of these. So I'm just going to put that on top. I'm going to grease it first. And in fact, what I'll do is I'm just going to put it just on top. I know you don't really need to grease it, but I'm going to grease it. Oops. Put something down before you try and do that. Okay. Just put that there. Now, I'll show you how to do the foil. Where did I put it? Ah, yeah. So, my foil, yeah, okay. If you have a large bowl, I'll show you how to do it anyway. So I'm only going to use, I only need one, but I will double it up just to show you how to heat it. So you put your foil back to back. Okay. Then get your parchment. Okay. So if you put your foil, back to back, and then you kind of fold one edge over once and again, okay, and then you open it up, you know, one double piece. Okay, then you put that with the shiny side up onto your parchment, okay, and then bring your bowl and you put this over. What I'm actually going to do is, because my bowl, I'm using a small bowl, smaller than usual. See, my husband doesn't eat anything sweet, and that's why I have to cut everything back for home. So I'm going to cut my parchment down so that it's the same size as the foil. Oops, that. So you bring your bowl, and then what you want to do is kind of use the foil to get it into shape. Then you get some string. Bear with me. Forgot to get that out a minute ago. So got some string. Put it around the lip of the bowl. That's why these pudding bowls have got a lip. You can tie the string easily. I'm going to do the scissors there. You can tie it around as many times as you want, but I just do one. Okay, and I'll just do a little bow to make it pretty. Ooh, it's away. And so there we go. All packaged up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, because I doubled it up, it kind of got a bit big for my bowl. Don't need all the excess, so I'm just going to cut it off. Otherwise it's going to get, I don't want it to get too wet. But you can leave it there if you've got a bigger bowl, it's fine. Okay. Now, don't put this on the steamer and then put your bowl in. Put the bowl in first so you don't burn your hands on the steam. Okay, so that goes in. Now, I'm going to move the camera back a little bit so you can, no, you can't see. I won't move it back. Anyway, look, this is my steamer with hot water. So I'm going to take the lid off. I'm going to put the lid on here, and then I'm going to put this on top. Okay, so I don't know if you can, let me see if I can show you where it is. So there we go, all tucked up. Now that is going to cook on a low heat for an hour and a half, okay? Let's bring you back up. Now, so what you're going to do, you're going to let that cook for an hour and a half. Let's check your crib sheet. And then you're going to store it. So then we're going to, let me just double check. Sorry, no, not an hour and a half. What am I talking about? 4 hours, okay? So I'm going to turn the pinger on. I'm going to do it on my phone actually. I'll do it on my phone later. 4 hours to steam on a low temperature. Keep an eye on the water. Top it up as and when you need it, okay? And then you can store it in a cool place until Christmas Day. Or until, I don't think it's going to last that long in our house. The storing lets all the flavors come together. It's like maturing of a Christmas cake. It helps all the flavors get to know each other, and over time the flavors mature as well and come together. If we cut into it, if we're going to serve it beforehand, you need to then heat it up for an hour and a half to steam it again, and then you want to top it with some alcohol. And when you do that, I'll come back live and demonstrate it when the day comes. I don't think it's going to last until Christmas, to be honest. My son likes this, so especially what we serve it with. I serve it with ricotta, whipped ricotta, and I'll come back and show you how to do that when the time comes. And so you need to steam it for an hour and a half before you serve it, just to warm it through. And then heat your alcohol that you're going to serve it with. So I'm going to use masala. But you know, you use the booze that you put, or should I say booze or alcohol? Use the alcohol that you put in it just to accentuate that flavor. But don't, when you're warming up the alcohol, that helps it light better. Sorry, I'm looking around trying to think of the words I'm saying because they're not, my brain, it really isn't in gear this morning. Don't let the alcohol boil or get too hot because then you'll lose the alcohol taste. If you want it boozy, just heat it up a little bit, and that when you pour it over, that helps it ignite quicker. Okay, you can serve it with brandy butter, custard, or ice cream, vanilla ice cream. A lot of people like that. As I say, I like to serve it with whipped ricotta, and I will come back and show you how to do that before we actually serve it. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And as I said, if anyone wants the recipe, please just drop me a message with your email address and then I can send it to you. I can send you the traditional recipe or the my version with masala and the tweaks I've made. If I've made a small one, it's enough for a small family, but if you want a bigger one, all you need to do is double the recipe. And do follow me on social if you don't already. On Facebook, I'm at Dolce Lusso Cakes, same with on Instagram. And if you're interested in my online bake-along workshops, as I said, on the 3rd of December, I am doing masala mince pies. And then later on in the month, I'm doing panettone for the kids. I've got some covering on school holidays. So the 22nd is the first one. So why not start Christmas holidays with a blast? You know, get them baking with something nice to enjoy after being exhausted in school all term. So I am teaching stained glass vanilla cookies. I'm also teaching traditional Italian butter cookies. And then in the new year, I'm doing a chocolate orange biscotti, which is amazing. So different skills to learn in all recipes. And again, everyone will get a recipe box which includes all the ingredients you'll need and specialist kit. Apart from things like butter, eggs, milk, stuff like that, I can't send because I don't want it to go off and get ruined in delivery. Everything's sent by courier straight to your door. So there's a link in my bio for the details, or just go to my website, which is dolcelussocakes.com/online bake-alongs. And I'm also doing corporate festive baking activities because it's a very difficult time of year, not just for you at home, but you know, when you're working, if you work in a big team, you do have regular interaction, which has gone. You don't have the face-to-face interaction. So this is a way of bringing your teams together through cake. So if you know anyone who works for a big company and looking for something different for their teams to enjoy, please do send them my details or let me know and I can get in touch with them. And if it's your team, please do give me a shout. I'd love to chat. Although I've got some offerings on my website, I am able to tailor all my offerings to your specific needs. And I was really touched when I was talking to one of my clients, because they said their team was really worried that Christmas was cancelled. Got COVID 1, COVID 2, Christmas is coming up. Yes, uni students have been allowed home. Yes, there's fabulous hope of the vaccines, but do we know if we're going to be out of lockdown at Christmas? Yes, we're hoping we will be. But we've all got to stay safe. So wouldn't it be lovely for in the work environment, you know, it's getting dark later, you can't really go out as much as you could in COVID 1. Give them something to look forward to, and you can make the box extra special, make it more of a Christmas party by adding a bottle of Prosecco. Nice surprise for someone. Anyway, so you know where to find me, at Dolce Lusso Cakes, and if you've got any questions, please, on replay or live, please just leave them in here and I'll come back to you when I can. And I hope you'll have a go at making your Christmas pudding on Stir Up Sunday. It's not as difficult as sometimes the recipes make out. And it's a fun thing to do, and it's lovely when kids get involved and you can see, you know, enjoy the end results together. In anything in baking, it's fabulous for mental health. It's a great anxiety and stress release. That's why I do it. I want to share my love for baking with you and everyone else. So if you know anyone who'd be interested, please do send them my way. And for now, have a wonderful Sunday, and thank you for joining me. Ciao.